Hey y'all, it's February the 11th, 2023, and although it's still winter time basically, spring's right around the corner. And so today's greenhouse going ons has to do with getting ready for seed planting. In March, we'll start getting serious about getting our seeds started indoors for our spring vegetable garden, or tomatoes and squashes and melons and peppers and different things. So we've got stacks and stacks of these trays, and as you can see, we've got stacks of the little planter pots. Can't use these very many times. They're pretty brittle, and some of these are actually already cracking, so this will probably be the last time some of these are used. But so this tray right here will hold 36 plantings. There's 6 hoes in one of these little plastic things, and there's 6 of them per tray. And so right now I've got 4 of them trays lined out there. So that's what's that, 144 or something like that. Spots we can put plants in, put seeds in, and hope they get to where we can plant them out. There'll also be like flower seeds and different things, so I'm hoping to, by the time this is finished, have hundreds of these little pots. I've got to get some soil lined out, some seed starting mix, and pardon all the junk in here. I'm gonna get around to the other side of the greenhouse. So there's sun's already coming up in this tray. These was I had these in a video the other day, white daturas, and I just had a bunch of seed, and I just chunked them in there, and Lord help, they're gonna have to be thinned pretty quickly. And so I have to decide whether to try to separate them all out and plant them individually, or just come in with some little snips and snip out the extras in each little square and just leave 1 or 2. So we'll see what I decide on that later. The basil is coming up sporadically. This is Thai basil, has kind of a licorice type flavor. Makes a beautiful little plant. And that one there started ahead of the rest of them. But you see, I put a few seeds in each square, kind of scattered them out, and they're coming up. Looks like them 2 hoes there don't have anything coming up yet, but you never know. They could pop up tomorrow, or they could wait a week or 2. So anyways, these are pink flowering marshmallow plant type of hibiscus, and don't look like I'm gonna get too many out of it, but you never know. It hasn't been the warmest in here. I'm surprised some of them have even sprouted. This here is something I'm just experimenting with. I'd gotten this several years ago, and I found these seeds. I'd gotten them in the mail, and they were several years old when I got them, and they've been planted here for a couple of weeks. So I dug my finger around there, and I pulled out in 2 different hoes. The seed is still alive, and it's swelling, so I believe it's going to sprout. That is an ancient, supposedly an ancient squash variety that, you know, you've heard the stories. I don't know. Just put out there what I was told when the seeds come into my possession, that they were found in an old Indian cave way back. I forget when it was. I have to look at the letter I got. Sealed up in some pots. There's also some beans and corn and these squash and some other things. Anyway, the squash really done well, but it's not a modern squash that's really been worked over to produce perfection. These seeds will actually produce, you know, look like several different varieties on a vine, and it's they're hybrids that the Indians evidently supposedly hybridized, but they're a work in progress evidently. But that's all right. We're just going to plant them and see what we get. I've got more than this, but I've just got 6 sections planted here so I can let them grow. The vines are supposed to get like 50 foot long and 3 or 4 foot, you know, high, the leaf stems. And squash, I can get up to 20 plus pounds. So yeah, I don't want a bunch of them running around here, but we're gonna see what they do. Anyways, that's just some of the going ons in the greenhouse today. There's always something going on, and chores that overlap. And I'm gonna take you out here and show you something else. So this is our raised bed garden down at Lincoln. There's another one across the back end of the greenhouse. And we've got the onions going. We'll plant them on the edge all the way down. Then we'll plant our tomatoes and peppers and stuff. Squash inside there. There's some chives right there. And in the blueberry bed over here, this raised bed's blueberry plants. We've also got onions around the edge of this all the way around. So a few hundred onions. Well, we had, this is my goji berry plant, and it's been suffering because of this cluster right here. This is volunteer, several years old, volunteer asparagus from a bed on the other side of the greenhouse over there. This trellis last year had green beans on it. This year's probably gonna have cucumbers more than likely. But this asparagus gets so thick and tall like a big fern. It's a beautiful plant, but it just kind of overtook everything. So I was trying to dig them up and move them while it's still cold, but look at here. Whew. That handle was rotten. The asparagus is tough, but yeah, I got to get me another shovel. But anyways, I'll be digging up these asparagus. I actually picked 2 pieces of asparagus earlier that already were sprouting in my other bed. But that other bed gets the western sun on the other side of the greenhouse, so it's warmer. And we can go look at it real quick. Don't want this video to run 15 minutes like the last couple have been getting away from. This is my daughter's little garden bed back here. She's been back here working and getting it cleaned up, ready for spring. It's always a mess. My multiplier onions in this bed. This is my asparagus. I never cleaned it up last year. And this is how they get spread. You see these berries? Yeah, little seeds in there. The birds eat them and poop them out, and you know, you got asparagus growing where you didn't mean for it to. But you can see right here, I broke the top off of that one. It was getting a little bit too tall. And then there's another one down there. See that end? I picked that asparagus. So won't be long, they'll be sprouting up all through this stuff. So I need to get this weeded out. There's actually leftover garlic from time gone by sprouting right there. So anyways, ugly when it's not going, but when that asparagus, all this here, after it gets past the time for you to actually pick the spears, they call them, and the plant goes on and the rest of the year grows up, it's a very neat looking, ferny looking plant. It's like a giant fern. Anyways, that's what's going on around here. And if you have a garden, I hope you're getting it ready. It's time to start thinking. Onions need to go out. It's time to start thinking about getting potatoes going on. And within the next month, getting seeds started for the upcoming spring. God bless you.